State, where Tinubu polled 207,579 votes, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, made a statement that has gone viral, sparking controversy. Here's what he said. During the primaries, the Minister of Works, standing in Ebonyi, holding Tinubu posters, told a crowd of supporters that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the Biafra that Igbos have been looking for. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
Tinubu is the Biafra we have been looking for. A man who has integrated the entire Southeast. A man who has given us juicy appointments. A man who has given us very important infrastructure. Bola on your money. Shaza. On your money. Shaza. Let us see a year to other presidential aspirants.
It's real, yeah. I mean, 11 million votes almost. Well, this video has racked up thousands of views online, and reactions are mixed. Umahi is arguing that Tinubu has fulfilled what the Southeast has long sought: integration into national politics through appointments and infrastructure. He's saying the fight for Biafra was about inclusion, recognition, and development, and that Tinubu is delivering that. But some Igbo online are pushing back. They're saying appointments and roads aren't Biafra, that the people who died fighting for self-determination weren't dreaming of ministerial positions. The question remains, is integration the same as self-determination?
Secondly, Oji, please, with due respect, Mr. Umahi can support Tinubu any way he wants support, but I think it's a stretch on the over 3 million people that died, the children that were shot, the people that were pained, the 10,000 people that were dying of famine on a daily basis, to now say President Tinubu is the Biafra they are looking for.
He's the Messiah of Biafra.
He's the Messiah of Biafra, whatever I say.
Inclusion, development, progress, development.
He should have just kept Biafra out of it. He can hype Tinubu all he wants. But Biafra is a sore point for Igbo people. I have friends that were child soldiers during the war. Please, let's not go there. It's a sorry part. A lot of them are still angry with General Gowon and what he wrote in the book. And the book he recently released.
Most of these people have not read the book.
No, they have read the book. They have read the book. And a lot of them are still feeling very hard done. And these are witnesses to history. It didn't happen behind them. I'm saying child soldiers. It is very despicable and sad for us just to mitigate the plight of Biafra and what happened there. And you see, Oji, we have never taken our time to review what happened in Biafra. Atonement for Biafra is just more than no victor, no vanquish. It is deeper than that. Atonement is not in political rhetorics and political positions here and there. No. Just after the war, we had what's it called? The top political parties ceding their vice presidential position to somebody from the Southeast. We all know how Alex Ekweme, prominent architect, became the vice president of Nigeria. But that's not atonement. Atonement is a full sense of belonging. And that's why a lot of people are agitated and say, an Igbo presidency might just be a step in the way for us. So it's a deeper conversation. And let's not mitigate it on the bounds of policy. You can hype Tinubu, you can say he's your God Almighty, you can lick his foot, you can do anything. But when you start to mention Biafra in that way, it loses me, please.
All right, well,
Imagine scrolling through X or, flipping on YouTube in Nigeria right now. There's this one specific phrase just completely dominating everywhere you look.
Yeah, a single statement from a political rally in Ebony State that basically set the internet on fire.
Exactly. A single sentence that just, it instantly collided with decades of raw, unresolved history.
It really did.
So today, to the source material behind this fierce debate to figure out why these specific words carry such massive weight. And, what the fallout tells you about the fragile state of national unity in Nigeria.
Because it's a critical moment.
Right.
It perfectly illustrates how local political maneuvering can instantly trigger a national identity crisis.
Right, so let's start with the trigger itself. This happened during a rally for Nigeria's ruling party, the APC, in Ebonyi State.
The Minister of Works, David Umahi, was at the podium.
Yes, he stood up and declared that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is, and I'm quoting here, the Biafra we have been looking for.
Wow. Yeah, that is an intensely loaded statement.
It is. To me, dropping the word Biafra into a modern political speech praising a sitting president, that feels incredibly calculated. It's almost like a politician in the U.S. equating a new infrastructure funding bill to the Emancipation Proclamation.
That is a really sharp analogy.
Right, because you are taking a profoundly heavy historical trauma and just stapling it to everyday bureaucracy. Why does this specific term guarantee such an explosive national reaction?
Well, that comparison gets right to the mechanics of what Umahi is doing here. For Nigerian listeners, Biafra isn't just a word or a historical footnote about the Southeast region.
It's much deeper than that.
Oh, absolutely. It represents the Nigerian Civil War, millions of lives lost, and a really long-running, deeply felt separatist movement.
Driven largely by the Igbo people, the primary ethnic group of the area.
Exactly. So invoking Biafra isn't making a standard political point. It's essentially weaponizing a generational wound.
Which completely explains the whiplash in the public reaction. You don't just casually invoke a civil war to talk about government contracts without people retreating to absolute opposite corners.
You really don't.
Yeah.
And if we look at the source material, Umahi's supporters are defending this through a strictly pragmatic lens.
Pragmatic how?
They point out that President Tinubu has delivered on federal inclusion for the Southeast. So they're pointing to him greenlighting major infrastructure projects, handing out key political appointments to people from the region.
Ah, okay. So their argument is essentially that economic integration, like actual roads being paved and government roles being filled, is the real victory here.
Yeah, they're positioning these concrete federal actions as a much better path forward for the Southeast than continuing any kind of separatist struggle.
They view federal representation as the ultimate goal the original Biafra movement was fighting for.
That's their stance, yes.
Yeah.
But the backlash from critics is fierce. And it centers on, respect for history.
Because it's so provocative?
Highly provocative. Critics argue that comparing Tinubu to Biafra attempts to overwrite historical suffering with political favors. Plus, they are adamant that Umahi does not speak for all Igbo people.
Let me challenge the framing of this debate for a second.
Yes, go ahead.
We're looking at this as a clash between tangible actions, like infrastructure projects, and untouchable symbols, like the historical weight of Biafra. But is this really just a politician trying to make a few new highways seem like a monumental victory to buy closure for historical wounds?
You're touching on the very core of the controversy there. Critics see it exactly that way, as a cheapening of an immense tragedy just to score points for the ruling party.
So they feel it's completely trivializing the past.
Completely. They feel that treating Biafra as something that can be achieved via presidential appointments fundamentally trivializes the millions who died during the Civil War. It reduces a fight for survival to a transaction for resources.
When you look at this local Ebonyi debate as a whole, it really highlights a tension that impacts the stability of the entire region.
It's the ultimate test for Nigerian political stability, really.
Right, because we're seeing this real-time collision between the push for modern development and the absolute necessity of respecting historical memory.
How does a nation move forward and foster genuine national unity when the wounds of the past are still so close to the surface? You cannot mandate unity purely through economic integration.
Not if large segments of the population feel their history is being co-opted or disrespected by the government.
Exactly. It shows that integration isn't just a math problem of distributing resources. It's a deeply psychological challenge.
And the fierce divide over Umahi's statement proves that political words can carry a weight that completely overshadows political actions. Whether you view it as a pragmatic call for integration or a provocative misstep, the emotional stakes are incredibly high.
Very high.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to mull over. Can modern infrastructure and political inclusion ever truly resolve deep-rooted historical grievances?
Or do some historical traumas carry a permanent weight that new roads and bridges simply cannot pave over?